Loud. Okay, cool.
it. Okay. And, oh, I made it small now. I can't see where the thing is. Okay, there we go. Okay. Can y'all see that?
Mhm.
Okay, gravy. So one of the major things we were talking about last time was the potential for a potluck portfolio for some fundraising. And we talked about soliciting prints from members to create like a one-of-a-kind portfolio that then we could raffle off for around $5. And then like do a lot of promoting to get lots of engagement and basically raise the money that we needed to get incorporated. So
Mhm.
we kind of were playing around with some of the numbers and we came up with around 600 to buffer for any fees. And some of those fees and like other unexpected costs that we were thinking about that could be like associated. Like I think buffering for fees was just for the EIN, just to get incorporated. But whenever we started talking about like, okay, well, we want to make sure that we can like, afford like things like glassine or like a box to send the prints out or like any shipping costs as well. So you're just thinking about some of that. And then additionally, like GoFundMe fees or PayPal fees, depending on which platform we decided to go with to collect those raffle donations. And so as far as the stuff that I looked into GoFundMe and PayPal specifically. And so just a little about GoFundMe. There's no fee to start or manage a fundraiser. The only fee that they take is every single purchase. There's a 2.9% transaction fee and then an additional 30 cents that gets taken away as well. And that's every single donation. And then all the other fees collected, or not fees collected, money collected goes directly to us. And so I'm not very good at math. So I was like using a percentage calculator to help me with it, but they take about 15 cents per transaction for that percentage. And then also that 30 cents. So it's around 45 cents or so per transaction. So in order to get that $600, we would need to sell 120 raffle tickets. That's not including like if we want to cover the cost of those fees, like, before that or after that 600. And then as far as PayPal, I looked at the fee breakdown. I haven't ever used PayPal and it was like way more complicated than GoFundMe. So I don't know if I did, yeah. Okay, I put the link here for all the different fees that they have. So there's like standard rates for domestic transactions. And I like I said, I haven't really worked with PayPal and I was kind of like overwhelmed by this page, which is like incredibly long, as you can see. And I wasn't really sure if like these particular fees were like applied to like every single transaction, or it looks like certain ones. So like if there's Venmo instead, like there's a certain fee, or if we use a QR code that's above this amount, it's this fixed fee plus the percentage. And I was just like, I don't know. So I have that linked there if we like wanted to look further into it. And then one of the other questions that we had was like, we want to be able to keep track of all the emails of everybody who is donating and like buying a raffle ticket, so that we can get in touch with them and so that we can easily, select a winner through one of those like, I guess it's like a raffle winner selector thing. So ideally we would have access to like an Excel spreadsheet that we could easily copy and paste all that stuff into, and then it'll select it for us. So GoFundMe, there's no way to do that, unfortunately. We can interact with donors, like we can, individually email them. We can email like groups of 10 at a time. But from what I saw, there's no way to like download anything that would remotely be useful to us as far as like transaction history and then like email everybody together. Like it would be a lot of work by hand to do that. Like I think it would be possible to find the emails, but not all together. Whereas with PayPal, you can download a transaction history. There's a couple of different ways to do it that I found, and it's really easy to do it with them. But again, I don't understand like the fee breakdown.
Mm.
And as far as a timeline, I think it would be like a minimum of like this project to, I think, do it really well. We could try to spend like 10 to 15 weeks on it. I know that seems like a lot, but because it's all on social media, it feels like you kind of have to like spend time promoting and then spend time allowing things to get here and then spend time to get the raffle donations. So I think it would be like a 10 to 15 week project, 15 on like the really high end, but at least 10 weeks just to do it right. And yeah, just make sure that we would be able to raise the money, because 120 raffle tickets, like I think that would be very possible for us. Ideally, we could do more than that, just so that we would have like more buffer, or we could start to decide like, where we want to put that money if we wanted to like have an exhibition or cover membership costs or, whatever we wanted to do with it. But 10 to 15 weeks for that timeline as well.
Okay. I think that's probably a really realistic timeline too. I also think, I know it sounds really wild to say this, but we've waited so long, we might as well just keep waiting. It'd be nice to be able to just go ahead and do it, but at the same time, like we want to make sure that no one person is taking on the brunt of the cost of these things, because they can get really expensive really quickly. Yeah. I think probably between these two, basically what we're finding out is if we do PayPal, we might be able to say like, okay, if you buy a raffle ticket, you get two things. You get a membership for a year and you get a chance to win this, which would be good because then we could keep track of their emails, but it does look kind of complicated. But on the other hand, if we do GoFundMe, they are taking a lot of money out. Like that's a lot of tickets to have to sell. It's not that I don't think we could sell those, but if we don't meet that goal, then we'll just have to extend that 10 to 15 week deadline, basically.
Yeah, and the 120 tickets just comes from like if we sell it at $5. Like if we sold it at 6 or more, it would be like less tickets that we have to sell to reach that $600. The fee, like when I was doing a couple little math things here with that percentage calculator, it wasn't too bad. Like if we sold 120, they would be taking out $54 total for that 120 raffle ticket. So we would get to $600. They would take $53.50 total from that whole 600. So their fees are like less complicated and they didn't seem as like invasive to me. And with the PayPal one, like no matter what, it's more money. Like GoFundMe's 2.9%. There's the PayPal is 3.49, and then whatever the fixed fee is according to whatever like currency that you're receiving, which I guess we could decide if we wanted it to be international or not.
I think it would be good to make it international. We do have we have a number of people that are following us that are in India, and then a number of people that are following us that are in Germany that may want to participate. And I'd hate to exclude them, I
agree. Even just like if like we did, with PayPal, that 3.49% plus almost 50 cents, and then another, or it could be a little bit lower than that, but ultimately PayPal's fees are higher. Is like, even though I don't know exactly like a scenario, because that's the thing I would want to know, like, okay, how do we make sure that we're covered with these fees, depending on like who is purchasing from with what currency. Whereas with GoFundMe, I feel like I have a pretty good idea. It's like, okay, we sell this many, they take this much out. And with these folks, I'm like, I guess it's kind of similar if we just, blanket for the sake of like a theoretical, in theory, like if we're just using this currency, and then we could do a version where we use this currency, and then
yeah, I think maybe you're right then. Maybe GoFundMe is the better option. But maybe instead of $5, we ask for a little bit more to cover that fee. So I don't know, would you be open to asking for 10, or is that a little too high?
We could do like a sliding scale, like we could say 5 to 10, and then people can pay what they want.
Yeah.
Again, that like makes things a little more variable. But the cool thing is we can just keep extending until we meet the goal, like we can just, like if we're not meeting it within, let's say we try to meet it in 4 weeks and we don't meet it then we just try for another couple of weeks.
We could
I'm
also let people do multiple entries, but I think the problem with that is, how do we track who they are?
yeah, I guess if they like, as long as they're putting their email like with their donation, and let's say that they do increments of 5 or something, we could say like $5 counts for one entry. Like maybe it's not a sliding scale, maybe it's just $5, but you can do multiple entries, and if someone does 20, then that's 4 entries. But the thing that makes me nervous about GoFundMe is just this thing where we have to kind of by hand like pick out the emails, which like isn't the worst thing. Like I do work like that, so I wouldn't mind, being responsible for that. It would be much easier if it was like an email Excel spreadsheet situation, like with PayPal though.
Yeah, when I did the sale of the Say Gay prints, I had just like a normal prompt that I would send out to people where it would be like, please provide your name, your contact information, and that would also have included the link to the PayPal. So when it all kind of came through, it was a lot to keep track of. But it was a way of like having them fill everything out and send it back.
Yeah, so maybe that's something that we require, is like, just put this specific information in every single time you buy a raffle ticket. Or we could even do that sliding scale where it's like you could donate 5, or you could donate 10, or you could donate 20, and we'll just put your name into the spreadsheet that we have 4 times. And then do a random numbers generator or something. It is a lot. It's going to be a lot of picking through people's comments, but I think to enable it to be more accessible, I think that's maybe worth it, and I can help you with that too.
And with like GoFundMe, like I don't think you have to have an account, like you just have to have an email, whereas with PayPal, like there's always like, I don't know, I get really frustrated with PayPal with the amount of just like logging in I have to do and like connecting to my bank and like all this other stuff. Whereas with GoFundMe, it's like, I think it's a little bit more accessible. And then Brett, were you saying, like, did I understand when you said that you kind of had people like fill out like another form, like, or just to send specific information, or?
Well, like I did my whole fundraiser through social media. So like if somebody inquired, I'd be like, hey, if you're planning on buying one of the prints, at that time we could do it per ticket. I was like, please just provide like the following information. So like I had to get their addresses to where I was going to send it, their name, their contact information, and then confirm that they paid. And so it was just like a lot of kind of bookkeeping on my end, but then I had an Excel spreadsheet that matched.
I see.
Like I had their name, how many tickets they bought or prints they bought, and then like I filled it out. So like in Excel, you could do the random number generator where it was like I'd put them in so many times for how many prints that they bought, their address, their contact information, and then just confirming that they paid either through GoFundMe or PayPal. So I would just match it up. Because I did mine through, it was like PayPal or Venmo or like whatever I could have figured out. So it was a lot of kind of notations on my end, but I had all their information.
I think that sounds reasonable. I don't know anyone else that like has done something like I don't know, like I was like, maybe we could like ask a few more people about like their experience. Like that's a great way to do it, is to like see what other folks are doing, like what you just told us, Brett. But then I'm like, I don't know anyone else who would be doing something like on this big of a scale that we could
Mhm.
ask.
Yeah, I don't think I was wondering while we were talking about it, if that would be a form that we could make like through Google Forms or even on the website. Which by the way, we own a website now for 2 years. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how we'd interface that, because the way that this website works is through PayPal, and then we'd have to do the PayPal thing instead of GoFundMe. And so that's a higher percentage of fees. And unless we try to avoid that by saying that it's a private transaction, but they'll figure it out pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, you know, in like the send off message after you've made a donation, and GoFundMe is like, thanks so much. Like, I don't know if that's customizable or not, but we could insert the link to the Google form there. And with the Google form, I don't want to make it too complicated, because they just spent, you know, a couple of minutes like donating on GoFundMe. So it could just be like their first and last name and then their email. Well, maybe it could be a little more complicated. Well, I don't think we should even ask for addresses or like
mhm.
anything until we get the winner. Like that way we're not like putting undue burden on folks. So we
Yeah,
could just ask for
and
their,
The other
yeah.
way I've had this done is where people will, like, if they're going to participate, they will have already gone through the process of paying, and then they will in some way, like maybe through Instagram or something like that, where we are advertising it, will send you an image that they've paid. And then it's easy enough to then send back and say, like, here, like, this is the additional thing I need you to fill out. So the way of confirming they already paid and then getting your information directly.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of friends do like those like raffles, and they ask for the proof of payment as a way of then being entered into the drawing.
Ah, I see.
So it's like
We
people could
could,
just go on and like say, like, here's my receipt, it's for $15. Um, and then provide, then when they sent that to you, you could then send back like, we need your name, your Instagram, and your email,
Mhm.
whatever.
yeah, I think even on like the Google form, like we could include like a file upload, and that's where they could put that receipt image. And while they're at the Google form, they can, you know, put their email and their name in. And then I think the only follow-up we would need to do is say, we cross-checked, your payment has been received, like you're entered this amount of times or whatever.
Yeah, the other nice thing about that is there's so many people who follow us on Instagram only that might want to participate in the raffle, but don't necessarily want to give us their email address. So they
Yeah.
could just give us an email address or their Instagram handle, and we can reach
Right.
out either way.
That sounds
Yeah.
great. I'm gonna type up some notes real quick.
Okay.
Are we hoping to get this off the ground before MAPC?
Theoretically, yes.
My only thought is like it'd be a great plug for the panel too, to be like, hey, we're raising money to do this moment. Like, here's the information.
Yeah, that's what Edie and I are hoping to do, is to say, like, we're at this stage, we're working on incorporation. There are certain fees we have to pay, so we're planning this fundraiser. So if you're interested, take a look at our Instagram, go to our link tree, or I'm kind of hoping, and we'll talk about this more in a minute, I'm kind of hoping we'll have at least the bare brass tacks of a website put together by then. Whether it's designed well or not, it's up to, but at the very least, I'd like people to be able to find our mission statement and a couple other things. So that's kind of the plan loosely. Do y'all want to see the website?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen and hopefully it doesn't corrupt. Actually, before I share my screen, because I've had issues with the internet in the past, Kay, do you mind if I make you a host?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let's see if I remember how to do that.
I'm like, it's been a minute since I've been on Zoom.
Yeah. Make co-host. There we go.
Sweet.
Cool. Actually, I'll just make you the regular host. That's probably a better way to do it so that if I leave. Okay. All right, let's try it. We have new internet, so it might work. Okay, so we're gonna ignore all the tabs I have open. I'm a tab demon. But this is this is our Wix page, and then we have a couple of vouchers to make us like Google searchable and stuff. I haven't looked into those, and I'm a little nervous about them before we have the site ready, but I think we might just do it. Edie is the person who knows more about this than I do, but I can at least talk about, hang on, she gave me instructions on how to do this and I've immediately forgotten them. Is it this one? There we go.
Ooh.
So Edie put together a raffle website. Okay, that just took me to the dashboard. I'm going to read what Edie told me to do. Edit site. Okay. It's right there. You can tell I don't know anything about Wix.
That's a lot of buttons. Like, that's pretty overwhelming to look at.
Yes, I immediately was like, oh no, I don't know what half of these things mean.
I think I've used Wix like one time for something. I could definitely help out if needed.
That would be fantastic. So she put together kind of a overarching thing. We were thinking about doing a bunch of different colors. Here's our basic mission statement. And then she's put a couple of tabs up just as placeholders for now. But this is kind of the visual that she was looking at for the site itself. And there aren't any additional pages, I think. Oh, wait, no, raffle. So this is the raffle page. And essentially, not much has been added. There's no body copy because we haven't really discussed the body copy, but talking about this, trying to make it pretty easy to read. And then I don't think there's really anything else, but this is super exciting because we've just kind of had to do Google Forms for so long. And it's not the ideal way to do it. So people can become a member this way. I don't think this actually will go anywhere yet. The website's not published, but there's information about volunteering. And Edie did all of this. So I think these are the only pages we have so far. But other than these, I was thinking maybe having like a social media page so that people can find our Instagram and link through it. And maybe an about us thing that's not just our mission statement. And on that page, we could probably put pictures of the interim board so that people understand like this is temporary. Please let it be temporary.
Membership interviews, didn't you? On the Instagram, didn't there used to be feeds where individuals within the guild would like speak about their experience and why they're part of it?
Yeah. We
Well,
ran out of people wanting to do that or applying to do it at least.
I wonder if we could incorporate some sort of version of that on the website though.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, like a slideshow that just kind of like fills
Flip
like
through and there's just general Q&A, like what made you want to be part of this? What, so on and so forth. Like, yeah, just kind of showing the mission in action, I think, a little bit through the individuals who are speaking to their experiences.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Also, there's eventually going to be something here that will connect it to PayPal too. That'll probably be the way that we get membership dues in the future, just because it's easier. And I'm not really sure how e-commerce works when it's not PayPal, personally. I don't think I've ever, other than Venmo, I don't think I've ever just taken people's credit card information, with the exception of Square, you know. So we'll have to kind of look into that, but we don't have an EIN, so that's like not an issue right now. But yeah, we wanted to do a more colorful website in general, but yeah, I don't know. Are there any thoughts about the kind of visuals of the website itself? We're also going to redesign this logo. I'm tired of this logo.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it looks really good as like a starting out kind of thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe more visuals, like the more we're able to design visuals and stick that up on there so it can balance out, you know, how much sort of text that we're going to have. I think that'll be helpful.
Yeah. And then as far as like members only types of things, we don't really know exactly what we'll do with that yet. But we have talked a little bit about putting things behind like a page that you only get access to if you are a member. So you have to log in to get access to it. But again, I don't know how that works on Wix. So we're kind of waiting. And I know that I think it was Jacob was looking into a second kind of quote for designing the website, beyond what Tanya Rosenberg had quoted us. But I'm not sure where they're at on that. So, which is, you know, again, probably my fault for sending the invite out so late. But yeah, so I guess to let everybody know, we own this website domain for at least 2 years. I paid for 2 years. And then we also own, basically, I think we have like the plus version. I'm gonna look at the dashboard again because it might tell us. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, we have the pro plan. I'm gonna click manage plan and hopefully it's not gonna ruin our lives. But so yeah, we're on a 2-year cycle with that. And right now it's just my PayPal, but we can change that later. But the plan features, we get the custom domain. The domain was free for a year. I paid for another year. There's no ads. I don't know what this means. Sorry, everybody. We do have storage space of 50 gigabytes, which is pretty great. I was thinking that would be good for us to be able to host all the images that we need to. And then visitor analytics will be really interesting as time goes on. We also have the events calendar, and that's why I paid for Pro, because I was like, an events calendar would be phenomenal for us, where it's just like, here's a link to the calendar for anything coming up, you know. They say that we get a professional logo. I don't know what that means. I have to look into that a little more. And then social media logo files, and we get 24/7 customer care. So I'm going to be annoying the hell out of whoever answers my questions. But yeah, so that's what we have. And I think the events calendar app is the one that I'm most excited for. Yeah. But yeah, that's what we've got. I don't know, is there anything else with the website? I wish I could remember. Let me check my notes. I don't think so. I think it was just trying to decide if we wanted to pay someone to design it or not.
This seems like a really good start for now, you know. Like it's a starting place, and then we can pay somebody to do that. I don't know. I guess when we have money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incorporated.
So it'll maybe be later in time. I'm gonna let Tanya know just so that she doesn't think we've just abandoned the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think the last thing is the volunteer spreadsheet. which I'm gonna be very honest about. I have not looked at that yet because I thought I would have time and then I didn't. So
Yeah, me
Go-
too. It's been unread in my inbox since Ruben sent it because I didn't want to forget about it. And I didn't forget about it. I just didn't have time for it either.
yeah. Oh wait, where is it? Oh, is this it?
Mm,
No, this is a list of all the tasks we were doing.
I have it up if you wanted me to share real quick.
Yeah, please. I couldn't remember if it was, I thought it was an R drive, but I think it might be in Ruben's.
You know, I'm not sure either now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, wait, is it showing it?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okie dokie. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, it looks great. I don't remember what all we were supposed to talk about for this. Let me see. Yeah, I guess just getting it to a place where we would feel comfortable sharing it and making sure it's like
Mhm.
user friendly and that it covers everything we need to. We don't have
Yeah.
anything for website support yet, and now we have a website. We can.
That's true. Yeah, we could describe basic design. I don't know how to say that in a more specific way. But like I want people to understand they do not need to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
It's, we just want the basics of a website. Because I think there's a habit of us being like, I'm really excited about this. Let me do a bunch of work for free. And it's like, I appreciate that, but please don't value your time,
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. I would say ideally 2 to 3 people. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I haven't had the time to do any takeover Tuesdays. And then as far as Instagram stories go, just sharing and sourcing open calls, that sounds fine. Takeover Tuesday support. I'd like that to be ideally 2 people. I don't mind if it's me and another person, but the way that it's going right now, and I'm just going to repeat this because I don't think Brett heard it before, but what's happening is I feel like I am the only person. Well, I don't know how to phrase it. I have a very specific set of people that I know to reach out to. And so that's kind of feels a little uncomfy sometimes where I'm like, I feel like I've reached out to a very small pool of people. I do go to shows periodically, and like there are some people that I need to
With
follow
people,
up on inviting. Mhm.
reaching out to a small group of people as far as like being part, like asking for
Mhm.
help, essentially.
No, as far as being the people that we spotlight on the takeovers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I get a little uncomfy with it, where I'm like, this is a very narrow pool of people that I can draw on. But yeah. And it's kind of turned more into an invitational than something where people elect themselves. So as far as the mailing list goes, one thing that would be great for us to put on the emails is people reminding about the volunteer meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we could like we could get that set up to where like I'm kind of thinking maybe the first Saturday of every month. In theory, I thought it was really good, but now I'm like, I think I might forget about it. Maybe like the second Tuesday or second Saturday or something. Maybe when we have more folks here, we can like
Yeah.
brainstorm on like a better time to meet. But if we could send it out so it's just like a recurring meeting, like we set it up on like, sorry, I got a lot of thoughts. We have a Zoom like meeting ID that we use for all of them. And then we stick that into a Google Calendar invite and we send that out to recur on the same, day of every month or whatever. And then nobody has to, then it's not like anyone forgot. And we could set it up to remind people, hey, we can set it up to remind people like, the day before or a week before, like, hey, this meeting's coming up. And that might make it so that less forgetting when we get really busy will happen, because we're human, like we're gonna forget.
Yeah. I'll look into figuring out if there's a way that, so what I've been doing is just sending it to all members, because I know that's probably a little annoying to some people, but I'm also like, I just want everybody to know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, if they want to come, they can come, and if not, with the Google Calendar invite, it's like they can optionally accept
yeah,
it.
that's true. They can say, I don't want to go to this.
Yeah.
I'm also going to look into figuring out how the calendar works on the website so that it can also just become something that's on the website all the time. Um, I'm trying to remember if there's anything else we need to do or talk about. Oh, I will put the volunteer task list out. I'm wondering what the best way to do that would be. I guess we could technically put it on the website.
I like that idea. Yeah, sticking it on the website, and then like maybe we could kind of pool our efforts into like getting the website set up
Mhm.
and figuring out the fundraising portfolio. And once we have all that sort of sorted, we can announce everything on like Instagram. Because I don't know, the way that I was thinking about it was like, if we just have, it could just be text that exists on the website. Like we have
Mhm.
built a table that looks a lot like this, or we could link it
Mhm.
to these Google Sheets as well, so people can access it that way.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how trusting we want to be with it. I think there is a possibility that somebody's going to be like, I have the time to be a butthole and mess with the, Google Doc, but I think it might also be good if we initially put it up where we say email us for this link, because once we have it set up where there is that kind of paywall, we can just put it up as a link through the paywall. Like people won't be able to see it unless, because I assume the volunteers would be a member,
Yeah, I think you can just link a sheet or a doc and it just be view only. Like they won't have access to edit it.
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen that before, and I've done it when I had my own shows. I would just have like a QR code on the wall that links to the image information or like an artist statement or something. And like it's just when you don't have time to make it into a PDF and it's just like a Google Doc or something, you can just make it view only.
Yeah. And I think that might be a good idea, because then they can look at an updated version. We won't have to continually update the website and the task list as things change. They can just look at it and say, oh yeah, no, there's something here I can help with, yeah. And then they can just email us so that we can send them an editable link or something, and we'll just put that statement there.
When is MAPC happening?
I think October 13th, right? To the 16th. I think it's the second week at least, or the third.
Yeah, it's October 13th through the 16th.
Oh,
Okay.
look at me. I remembered something.
Okay.
So my thought also, and this might sound strange, as we move forward, and I think getting our name out there becomes more and more of like a question of like incorporating other voices and trying to get more membership and like get more people involved. Um, it might be worth starting to consider also like, instead of individuals authoring an exchange, like what if MAPC starts to submit things? Like we're going to do a portfolio or an exchange at one of these conferences. Like what if the guild pitched something? Instead of like, that might be like headed by a certain individual, but through the lens of the guild as just a way of us starting to get more involved, even beyond just like panels. You're starting to
Yeah.
think a lot of like different ways, because I know that tables and like tabling there seems to be really expensive, no matter
Yeah.
where it is. And so what are other ways of us like being engaged in conferences? Or is there a moment at a conference where we're planning a get together with all of us and asking, you know, our peers to bring other people, and we meet somewhere locally and, you know, have a drink, so on and so forth, a get together, you know, where are moments of conversation? Because I think
Yeah.
we were at SGCI, like it was great to connect with this kind of handful of individuals who was there.
Yeah, I think that would be really fun to have like and we could honestly just promote it through. I don't think we'd get in trouble. I feel like MIPC is not like
I know,
that. If
I,
we were to promote something where we're like, hey, we're all going to be at this very specific, I don't know, you know me in drag shows, so I would be like, let's all go to a drag show.
like I'm also thinking, like even if it was just like sent out on an email, like I know other institutions do it. Like if their former students are all there, like other institutions are like, we're gonna all meet at this place and it's gonna be like a get together. Like we could do something like that as a way
Yeah,
of meeting in person, because I think that reignites purpose and engagement in a
yeah,
different way for those people who are there. And we might start ending up picking up other people as well through these kind of community moments.
yeah. I think because they would, you know, bring their friends and stuff. I would fucking love that. I would love to meet the people that are in the guild and that, you know, this speaks to, because that's why I'm doing it. Is there were so many times when I was going to conferences where there were social events that felt very exclusionary. I think that's the broad term I'll go with. And it would be really nice to have a more inclusive kind of moment. Like I think the time that I met the most people that were in the guild was when we were at the was it Queering the Future? Yeah, the reception for that was a really good one. And it was really fun to meet all of those people. Okay. I think that's a fantastic idea. And I also think it's a really good idea to just send it out via email and just say, if you're going to be at MAPC on this Thursday, we'll be here.
Yeah, I just think it's a good idea. Like one of the days, let's pick a, like that doesn't interfere with other things, but let's pick a place and a time and just be like, it's a challenge by choice moment. Anyone's invited, you know, come hang out, let's talk. Because I mean, we did that organically when we were at SGCI and like you say, at that opening. But it might give us all a chance to meet face to face in a different kind of way.
Yeah, and I think that would be really fun.
Right. I don't mean to cut it short, but my computer's gonna die, so I'm gonna hop off. But I will talk to you all.
Yeah, bye, Brett.
Thank you. Bye.
That would be really fun. I wonder, I don't know. I'm very much like, let's go to a drag show, because there's part of the reason that I like to go to drag shows is you don't have to have reservations. And the more the merrier, you know?
Totally.
But at the same time, there's part of me that's like, yeah, that might be too loud for some people. It might be too late for some people because, you know, they don't start until like 9.
Well, maybe it
And
could
not
be like a get together beforehand, and then kind of like, we're gonna keep the party going and we're gonna keep hanging out at this space if you guys want to come, or, you know, like it doesn't have to be like, it can be a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it being kind of organic or informal as well, or maybe like just a little something that gets posted, you know, I don't know, like I like the idea of doing like a really big event, but I kind of also love the idea of like dipping our toes in first and like seeing what works.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be super formalized initially.
Yeah. Are you going to MAPC?
I don't think I didn't plan on going. Yeah, I don't really have any more time I can take off right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I'm trying to decide what I want to use my like staff development leave on, and I think I'm going to use it in the spring for the Fate conference instead of anything printmaking related.
Yeah.
Just because I have a panel with them, so I want to make sure I can get there. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I have to go.
Yeah.
But I am also very excited because I haven't gone yet. So I
I
don't
hope
know.
it's fun.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I know it's smaller, which might be nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is there anything else? And I do like this idea, especially because it doesn't involve like budgeting
Yeah,
or having to fundraise or anything like that. Yeah,
I
I'm trying to,
agree. It feels simple. I do think if we want to plug anything at MAPC, like we have one more meeting in between now and then to kind of
Mhm.
meet and decide like what we want to do, which I think, I don't know, I don't know if it's really like realistic to announce maybe we can't announce all the details about the potluck portfolio
Mhm.
fundraising, but like maybe we can just have like a quick poster or something that like has some information. It says like to be determined, like look out for, you know, this information the next couple weeks. Like we may not be able to like totally plug it, but we can at least like say like, hey, expect this thing coming out, and like here's the general idea. We just don't have dates yet. Cause I'm hesitant to like what you were saying earlier, like jumping in it before we all kind of know what all we can take on and what everything entails. So it feels like we have good bones right now. Now we just need to like basically get the ball rolling on,
Yeah.
you know, getting graphics made and writing all the language out and like deciding if we want to stick it on the website or if we just want to stick with the mailing list and our Instagram or all of that. I'm definitely hesitant to take on too much, like I think we did last year. We all got kind of burnt out.
Mhm.
And even with
Yeah.
takeovers, like if you'd be interested in like oh, there's Edie.
Hi, Edie.
I am so sorry. I got it mixed up in my head that it started at 10 my time.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay.
I am gonna actually remember this time to put the recording up on YouTube. I wrote it down and everything for once, so it's gonna happen. But we were kind of talking about, I think, just like a quick summary. I showed everybody the website. I showed them that you have a couple other pages that are kind of
Oh, cool.
your bones right now.
Okay, cool.
Everyone says it looks good. And
Cool.
then we also talked about, I'm going to try and figure out, and if you want to help me, I would love that because I'm not Wix intelligent. But I'm going to try to figure out the calendar app that we have to see how that works. Sorry, my dog's going to bark real quick. He just thundered through the house. Oh, he's just being sneaky. Never mind. But we also were talking about, we also were, Pumpkin, get down. Get down now. Pumpkin Elizabeth. All right. Anyway, so we talked about getting the volunteer task list linked on the website too. And you and I can talk about this tomorrow as well, but what we were right now talking about was what we should talk about at MAPC. So you've got perfect timing.
Okay, good.
We were talking about the portfolio fundraiser, and we're not quite at the place where we'll have it ready to start taking in prints or funds, but we are at the point where we can at least say like, keep an eye out for these things, you know.
Okay.
Did I miss anything, Kay?
No, I think these are probably some of the worst notes I've ever taken, but we have something at least to document other than someone like, watching the video. We have like a little synopsis here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think need to make a poster feels important if we want to like show that. I'm trying to think if I can do that. Let me see. I could probably create like a real basic one in like, would it be okay in Photoshop or would y'all rather Illustrator?
Whatever you want to do. I know Olivia's done stuff in Canva before too, which
Oh,
seems to, yeah. So like I'm open to anything.
Okay.
I think she made a record like an animated one, which interfaced weirdly with Instagram, but it interfaced. It just was kind of weird.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's like about the file or not, but
Okay.
yeah.
I'll look into making something on Canva and I'll try to have it ready by our next meeting. And I guess when is our next meeting? Like, let's decide on that real quick too, just so we like have it in the notes. Cause I know Olivia said she was gonna like rely on. It would be, if we're still doing first Saturday of every month, it'll be October 1st. Is that okay?
Oh, I have to go to a concert that day. I don't have to, but that's like at 6 p.m. We're fine. It's fine.
But you're like, this is
I don't
what
know
I
why
have
my
going
brain
on.
was like 10 in the morning. I'll be at a concert.
Okay, October 1st, and it'll be 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then there's only 4, right? Eastern Standard Time. Is there another one I'm missing?
think
Pacific,
that's right.
Mountain, Central.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, I think you've got them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next meeting, I'm gonna like highlight this. Wow. Okay, I'll make up bones. Sorry, I'm like rushing because I gotta go, but I'm like, okay. Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Hey. Hey. We didn't get to talk a whole lot about the volunteer spreadsheet.
Yeah. I'll look at that and add things to it again because I was supposed to do that last time and I did not.
Okay. Time is flying, y'all.
Mhm.
I'm just-
Becky, did you talk about the logo at all?
Yes, I said we'd like to redo that.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I need to tell you, Edie, I was showing everybody the pro plan, and apparently we get a professional logo as part of the pro plan, and I don't know what the hell they're talking
How does
about.
that work? Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can look at that tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out afterwards, we can look at it now. Either way, I don't really have any.
I'm free because I thought the meeting was for an hour starting now.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm free.
let's do it then. Let's look at it because I don't understand Wix. Okay, so I'll stop recording because that's, oh, I can't. Kay, you're the host.
Oh, okay, hold on. Step.